Hi everyone, I'm Danielle with Trinity Readings. We are going to do a pick a pile, pick a card reading today. So, hold on, sorry. The theme of this pick a pile reading is going to be message from your ancestors. So, whatever messages your ancestors, your guides are wanting to get through to you, hopefully that is the message that will be relayed in this reading. So what I want you to do is just pick the pile that you are drawn to. I know the layout is kind of funky, but pile 1 is going to be lapis, pile 2 is going to be moonstone, and pile 3 is going to be tourmaline. So take a minute or so, just pause, take a few deep breaths, and select whichever one you are drawn to. I will have timestamps for each section in the comment section of the reading. Sometimes people will want to pick more than one. They'll be drawn to more than one. On a ancestor message type reading, I would try to narrow it down to one. If you pick a number and it doesn't seem to resonate, then pick another number and see if that resonates better. But I wouldn't try to compress more than one in and fit it all in, if that makes sense. Okay, so we are going to start with pile 1. If you chose pile 1, you chose lapis. Lapis is a stone that is connected to your throat chakra. It's connected to your truth and being able to speak your truth, being able to confidently speak your truth. It's also connected to Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael and Goddess Kali, honestly, are both deities that help you to see through the illusions so you can see the truth for what it is. And I feel like there's something that you have it's kind of this, the message that's coming through for you is kind of a similar, it's kind of like a similar, if you've ever read Job in the Bible, like you are feeling as if you have just dealt through struggle after struggle after struggle and hardship after hardship after hardship. And I feel like you keep asking your guides, you keep asking your ancestors, you keep praying for all of the difficulty to be removed so you can be at peace. You're praying to get out of this cycle. You're constantly praying for the same thing. You're constantly asking for something more, asking for hope, asking for help, asking for support, asking for a breakthrough. And you're struggling with this as intensely as you are, I think, because it doesn't make sense to you. You don't understand why you're hurting in the way that you're hurting. And honestly, I feel like that's something that, like, for me was always a struggle. It was like the why. Like, I always wanted to understand the why. It was difficult for me to just accept that some things are just the way that they are. But I feel like trying to understand the why is the very thing that is tripping you up at this point in the game. Sometimes there isn't a why, sometimes there isn't a defined why, and sometimes that why is not something that you will fully be able to understand until you're on the other side of it. And I feel like you're saying, well, that's the problem. I can't get to the other side of it. But the reason that you're having trouble is because there is more focus on what is going wrong. And I'm not trying to minimize this, because I feel like you are genuinely struggling with a lot. But what's that? That is also showing you the capacity and the depth that you have, and the depth that you have had to go through as a result of all the suffering that you've been through is also going to be the depth that is strong enough to sustain the blessings that are on the other side of this. But okay, sorry, my camera fell. The bridge that is necessary to get from point A to point B is there's a need to let go at this point. You're going to have to let go of some things without having the closure. And you'll get the closure, but you're not going to get the closure right now. And so you need to be able, whatever is not working, no matter what it is, no matter what story or belief about this that you have had, no matter what, if it has continued in the same cycle for longer than 6 months and not progressed at all, no matter what it is, if it is staying in the same cycle and not evolving and continuing, that's adding to the stuckness. If it hasn't been if you haven't been able to fix it yet, if there hasn't been any solution to it yet, then there's not meant to be a solution right now, and you're meant to focus somewhere else. It's not serving you. Regardless of what you feel that it's meant to be, it's not serving you right now. And your guides and your ancestors are not asking you to desperately, frantically, fearlessly hold on to something that is not moving. That's not what they're asking you. So whatever this is that is continuing in the same cycle, you're asking for the blessings. You're asking for something. You're asking for this suffering to be removed. You're asking for a solution, but you have to be the one that is willing to let go of it so you can have the space, because the thing that you're holding on to is the very thing that is preventing you from having what you want, which might seem like a contradiction. But it's like you're giving so much energy that you're not giving any energy to yourself. There's something that you need to surrender. Something has to completely fall apart so you can re-nourish yourself and rebuild yourself and let things start on an honest, from an honest place. You're getting Goddess Kali show up, and Goddess Kali is a pretty powerful goddess. When I first started, really getting into reading and understanding the different deities, that was the one that scared me, because they would always say, like, you don't want to work with Goddess Kali unless you are ready for change. Because Goddess Kali is it's almost like she's the goddess of destruction, but the destruction is for a purpose. It's kind of like the Tower card in tarot. It's destruction that comes in to shake up the foundation so you can see what part of the foundation wasn't built properly to begin with, right? So you can rebuild on a more authentic vibration. So when Goddess Kali shows up in your life, she shows up in your life because there is a change in your life that is absolutely 100% necessary at this point. But the only way for that change to occur is for everything to something, you have built something on something that is no longer sustainable. It's no longer aligned with your truth. And what you're doing is you're trying to hold on to this because you've been told it was your truth, or you feel that you need to make it your truth, but holding on to it in this moment is not resonating with your truth. This is not matching your truth. And so to hold on to it is actually dimming your light, lowering your truth, and making it more difficult for that to come in. Again, Goddess Kali is not an easy it's not an easy energy. It requires a shakeup. It requires a change. She comes in when she's breaking you away from everything. But if you have the power to be put into it, you have the power to go through it. And in all honesty, the only thing that seems to be really making this difficult is a resistance to letting it go, or a difficulty in letting it go because you don't have the closure that you're looking for. And again, that closure is not going to come until you're on the other side of it, because you're not able to see the closure because you're in it, because you're in the pain. You can't heal in the environment that broke you, right? You might not understand this until you're on the other side and you see how much you have changed. But you can't keep giving emotional energy to this because it's completely depleting your emotional world. And when your emotional world is depleted, that blocks everything from flowing in your life, because your emotional world is how things flow. And so if you're blocking emotions, if your emotions are always tense, if you're always feeling drained, then everything that is meant to flow to you comes to a halt, because there's no flow. The river has one. What is that? The river ran dry. And honestly, I would normally, I feel like I'm supposed to pull more cards, or I would normally pull more cards. But I feel like you don't need more. You don't need more information. You don't need more stories and messages to filter through. You need to just look at this from more of an energetic perspective and say, over this is not working. It's just not working at this moment. I need to let it go. What is that? The serenity prayer. If it's something that you can't, then it's just not meant to work at this time. And there's a message coming in that's like, who told you you're supposed to wait? Who told you you're supposed to wait? Who told you you're supposed to die in wait of a person, or of abundance. Nobody ever told you you were supposed to wait. And I feel like that's a very specific message from somebody's ancestor. Like it feels like a very like strong-minded grandma, like somebody's grandma going, "Who told you nobody told you to wait. Nobody said you're supposed to be like nobody told you were supposed to be waiting on no boys." Like I feel like that's kind of, I know that sounds silly, but if it didn't work, it didn't work. It's not supposed to work. It's holding you back. It's draining your life force. The numbers in here go from 10 to 5. It's like the the ending needs to come before you see the change. You have to let go of what's not working before you'll see the change. And I feel like you might be waiting for the change before you can let go, but you're holding on to so much that it's making it difficult for you to see the truth. Is there any final is this feeding your soul or is this feeding your ego? Are you giving all of this light away in hopes of being nurtured? It's like there's something off within the energy exchange. Don't let the desire for the success and the completion of this override what your intuition is telling you at this moment. Your intuition is trying to tell you to cut yourself free from something. Your intuition is trying to tell you that something's not fulfilling. It's like for some of you, I feel like you may be gaslighting yourself to avoid some sort of necessary change. Because it's like you're getting sucked into a situation where you're constantly feeling the need to prove your worth, or you're sucked into this space of trying to find out the truth about something but you already know. You've already got the, like, you don't need any more answers. You just need to look at it in terms of what's working now, what's in front of me now, what is giving me fulfillment now. It's like your loyalty is in the wrong place right now. Your loyalty is misguided right now. Your devotion is misguided right now because you're feeling like you need to figure something out or understand the reasoning or get to the bottom of it or prove to somebody else what the truth is. If that was truly your purpose, right? If that was truly what needed to happen, then something would have shifted in the last 6 months. If you're still repeating the same cycle now that was repeating itself 6 months ago, then you're holding on to something that is not meant to be, that's not flowing in this experience. And so if it's not bringing genuine, authentic, emotional fulfillment, if it's not supporting your genuine, authentic, emotional fulfillment, then it needs to go. And that also means freedom from your thoughts, freedom from your mind, freedom from trying to figure it out, freedom from ruminating about it, like all of it, replaying the same story over and over and over again. Once you have been replenished, then it's all going to make sense. But you have to let it go first. Well, that was fun. Sorry. Your ancestors know that you deserve more. And it's kind of like we have not wanted to step in. We've been trying to, because they know that you don't like change. But you've been very adamantly resisting the shift. And not that you've done wrong. It's like you're being loyal to a situation that you don't need to, you're not supposed to be showing loyalty through suffering. That's not what your ancestors fought for. I also feel that that is a very specific message. For one of you, like your ancestor is like saying, like, it's a feminine energy. Like, I didn't fight for freedom for you to be waiting for somebody that's not showing up for you. Okay, so we are on to, pile 2, which is the moonstone. So if you picked pile 2, moonstone is it's a stone that is meant to help you remember your dreams. It's a stone that helps connect you to your subconscious, your intuition. It's a very feminine energy type of stone. So if you picked this pile, you're likely an extremely intuitive person, and there's probably a very strong message right now to pay attention to your dreams, to listen to your intuition more, that everything you need in this moment is internal, not external. Don't focus so much on what your external needs are right now. Focus on your internal. Change the internal, love the internal, and you'll see that outwardly. You are an extremely powerful person. You're a very, very powerful person. But I feel like you might not recognize that within yourself. You might not recognize how powerful your presence is. You might even feel like it's a little bit too much for people. You maybe have been told a lot of times that you're too much. And so you feel like you need to tone down. You feel like you need to make yourself more palatable to other people. You're constantly seeking to like better yourself, or feeling like you're not the same as other people, or feeling like you're trying to keep up with other people because for some reason you don't recognize your own power. But the reason that you don't recognize your own power is because you have been connected to people in your life who are very threatened by your power and made you feel as if you needed to tone it down. It's interesting that you picked the moonstone, which is a very feminine. Oh, you maybe are not, you're not necessarily wanting to take action. You're not very confident in the actions that you're taking, and so you're still feeling like you need more healing, or you need more information, or you you need more. Like, I can't do this until I have this. I can't do this until I have this, or this person is not going to commit to me until I do this, or this person won't like me unless I do this. It's like you keep feeling like you need to be more. But I feel like you're looking, you may be looking for, you may be looking for answers instead of just trusting your intuition and taking action. Or you're avoiding taking action because you don't feel that it's necessarily going to be palatable for the people around you, or easy for other people around you to be okay with. You're trying to soften when you need to be more assertive. You're looking for the light when you are the light. It feels like for some of you, there's something in your ancestral line. Like somebody in your like in your ancestral line, like fell fell victim to flattery, was in a very strong place of power, and they lost that position of power. They lost that seat of power because they were kind of like swayed by like flattery, uh they got everything that they wanted. They were in a good space, but for whatever reason they still weren't feeling like that was enough. And because they kept seeking more, they lost. And I feel like for whoever that might be resonating with, I feel like wherever that happened in the family line, like that just kind of trickled down. And so, like, you were born with an inherent, like, fear of making the wrong move, almost fear of making a mistake. And so you either freeze and don't take action, or you're constantly on the move because you never feel like it's enough, like, and all because you're genuinely not seeing necessarily how powerful you really are. You're waiting for somebody to make a move. You're trying to it's almost like you're like setting the stage. You're like setting all these, like it almost feels like setting out, like, you know how when like somebody's trying to get, like, somebody's stranded on an island and they're trying to get the attention of the planes flowing over, so they put all these, it's like, I feel like that's what you've done. Like, you're trying to like set the stage, anticipating somebody making a move, or you're waiting for somebody to make a move, or you're waiting for the right moment to take action, when you're meant to be the one taking the action. And not just like, and not just rushing to get something done. Like, I feel like it requires first for you to recognize how powerful you are. It's like you have the power and you're waiting for somebody to give it to you, or you have the power but you're giving it away to somebody else because you're falling victim to flattery. What is that story? That is that the Trojan horse, like, isn't that Greek, where they brought that Roman horse to whatever ruler that it was, and he thought it was like this really cool gift, but it was like sabotage. I know it sounds, but I feel like that's something that you need to be mindful of, that you're not giving people power or giving people authority over you because they're acting like they're doing something nice for you. Especially people that are very flighty. And then you perceive that you need to be the light to save them, but you're just giving them your power. It's interesting. In the last pile, Goddess Kali came up, which is just very strong, powerful, feminine deity. And what you guys have coming up is Hecate, which is a very powerful feminine deity. And both of those deities are about major changes in transition and the need to choose a path based on your own personal empowerment. Your ancestors are not going to support things that are going to keep you in the same cycle, right? Your ancestors, honestly, your ancestors want to support your freedom because that's what they were all fighting for. Like personal freedom. You don't need anything more to claim your place. You just need to stop giving your power away. Um, yeah, you're stuck in this energy of indecision and because and you're ignoring what you want. You're not nurturing what you want. You feel like in order to get what you want, you have to nurture everybody else's desires. Your power is within your feminine energy. Your power is within your desires. Your power is within your love. Your power is within your gentleness, not within your submissiveness. And when they say to follow your heart, they don't mean to go find the love of your life and beg that person to love you. Finding the love of your life does not mean that you're supposed to submit yourself into unwavering devotion no matter what that person is doing. How are you going about getting the things that you want? What do you feel that you need to do in order to have the things that you want in life? Because it's not that you can't have what you want. You most certainly can have what you want. In fact, you're a very powerful person. You're a very strong manifester. You're somebody that doesn't really need to do a lot to manifest. But I feel like there's a misunderstanding in that, and in this not taking action, you're also not choosing, and you're also unknowingly giving away your power. I also feel like there's a message that you have ancestors on both sides of the playing field. You have ancestors that were, if all of your ancestors were alive now, they would all probably be very much in opposition of each other. Like your mom's family line and your dad's family line, if you go down a little bit, like there was very opposing beliefs and traditions, and your purpose is almost like to kind of like integrate that. Like you're not supposed to be this way or that way. There's some sort of integration in that. And I feel like some of the beliefs that you have been raised with might be beliefs that in and of themselves very much contradict what you're wanting and what you're trying to manifest. And when your beliefs contradict what you want, it genuinely blocks the flow of manifestation. So take some time to kind of like examine that. Like, for example, if you believe that love is an equal, mutually reciprocative flowing energy, but at the same time you also believe that women are supposed to be quiet and not supposed to upset the man, then you have beliefs that contradict each other, and that's going to show up as contradictions and challenges within your relationships until you pick a side. Basically pick what belief resonates more with you. your guides and your ancestors are supporting your freedom, your personal growth, and your willpower and determination to progress and move forward. If you are feeling that your guides and your ancestors aren't doing anything for you, then ask yourself, is what I'm asking for and what I'm doing genuinely supporting my freedom and my personal growth? Because that might be why I'm not getting that support. Not because they're letting you down, not because they're ignoring you, not because they don't want to help you, but they don't want to help you to do the very thing that is going to inhibit your freedom. Their whole fights have been all of their support, everything they're doing, everything they've done has been for you to have more freedom. And so is what I'm doing encouraging me having, and I don't mean freedom in the sense of like being alone for the rest of your life, but like the freedom to feel good, to enjoy your life, to feel free. You know what I mean? Okay, so last but not least, pile 3 is tourmaline. So tourmaline is a root chakra stone. It's a very protective type of stone. It very much transmutes negative energies, protects from negative energies, makes you feel more grounded. So if you chose that pile, it's likely that number one, your energy is very protected. Your ancestors are very protective of you. Your ancestors don't play about you. And that might feel that might feel like you're constantly getting like cock blocked, right? I know that's a vulgar term, but that might feel like your blessings are constantly being blocked. And it's not that your ancestors are blocking your blessings. They will never block your blessings. They will never block your happiness. Honestly, they don't interfere. But when things aren't working like you think that they're supposed to work out, it is because your ancestors know what you are worthy of. They don't play about you. They're not going to, they know you're not meant to settle, and they're not going to let you do anything that even remotely seems like settling. So when you're kicking and screaming that this isn't working out, why isn't this working out? I'm hearing somebody say, I saw you. It's not that it's not working out. It's that you are being prepared for better things. They kind of giggle because it's like everybody is thinking that there's all this, but we're protecting you. We're bringing you to something great. They're trying to like make you this big beautiful cake, and you keep trying to pull it out before it's done with no icing, with no decor. Damn. Yeah, that's exactly what they're telling you. They are saying that we are supporting you. That's the co-creative energy. Your ancestors are supporting you. They're in the darkness. They are supporting you. They're supporting your desires. They're supporting your needs. They're supporting what you want to create. Even though you don't see them, they're very much there, and they're very, very protective of you, and they do not like the people that you have in your, I'm point blank. I usually don't I usually don't like to talk, but they don't like the people in your life. They do not like the people in your life. They do not like the people in your life, and they want me to keep saying it. You know this. Why do you keep fucking with these people? Why do you keep messing with these people? These people are not balanced. They're not okay. They make you have to look over your shoulder. Ever since you started hanging out with these people, you started locking all your doors. Why are you continuing to hang out with these people? The people that you are, the 5 people that you spend the most time with, even if it's not physical time, the most conversation time with, that's who you become. Like I feel like it's somebody's grandpa like lecturing. Why are you messing with these people? You're asking me to protect you, but then you keep messing with people. You're asking to be protected while you go run around playing with fire, rolling around in fucking gasoline. Like what the fuck is going on here? I'm sorry. That's how the message is coming across. That's how the message is coming across. Toxic relationships are not a joke. Toxic relationships are not something that you are stuck with. Toxic relationships are not something that you're meant to keep dabbling with. The minute that you see it's toxic and it doesn't provide balance and harmony, you are meant to get away from it, period. Why are you playing with toxic relationships? Why are you giggling? Yeah, that man's toxic, but I love him. Why? And then you ask for help. It's toxic. It's toxic. So your energy creates, right? Whatever your consistent energy is what you're creating and what you're manifesting, right? So you manifest based on the energy that you're giving and the energy that you're receiving, what you're doing, karma, all that fun stuff, right? So then you connect to somebody in a romantic relationship, in an intimate relationship, and the minute you connect on an intimate level, you're taking on their karma too, right? You're taking on their energy. You're engaging yourself with their energy, right? So you're sitting here trying to be this good person, trying to be this pure person, and then you mess with this person over here who is very, 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 very obviously a toxic person. You see that they're toxic, but you think that you can fix them, right? I can. Okay, fine. But in that process, every little toxic thing that they're doing, you're taking it. You're inviting that into your experience. And then you get pulled down too. And then you're both toxic. You're both toxic. So, why are you okay with dabbling with the toxic people until you get better, or until things get better, or until they get better? Maybe it's because you don't see it within yourself. There needs to be more balance, more balanced connections, more balanced within you. If somebody is out of balance in your life, you have to be willing to walk away from them. You have to be willing to let them go. You have to recognize that everybody you're interacting with is affecting your blessings and affecting your abundance and your ability to receive. And so if that person is toxic, you are creating with that person. And that's the message I keep hearing. I'm sorry. Like, I can't help you if you keep co-creating with people that you can't, like, you don't even feel protected with. And in the connections that you have, all of the energy goes to fulfilling their needs. Where are your needs in this? Where do your desires come in this? You can't keep holding back your truth and holding back your desires and holding back your energy to keep the peace with other people. Because keeping the peace with other people and making things easy for other people is not going to get the reciprocation that you think that it is. You already know the people that are not meant to be in your life. You already know the people that are conflicting. Jealous energy and toxic connection energy is a heart chakra blocker. So that prevents you from getting love, that prevents you from getting abundance, that prevents you from feeling connected to the outside world. And so fighting to hold on to a toxic connection is the very thing that's going to ultimately isolate you. When you cut away the toxic, your ancestors will show up for you, and they will show out, and they're not going to, they can't help you if you're not helping yourself. Because basically what they're saying is they've been giving blessings that are getting filtered into toxic people, which is why all these toxic people feel so empowered. Love you. Have a good week.